Yeah, hi peeps, it's Terse back on the old scribble box again. And this is a political kind of video. It's Black Ops. As you can tell by the darkness I surround myself with. It's Black Ops, it's about the NSA, it's about the covert operations of our governments to tap our phones. And don't get me wrong, that's a bad thing, but it's a worse thing when you know why they're tapping 100 million people's telephone calls and 100 million people's fucking emails. It's so they can muddy the waters. They're actually tapping because, let's face it, our security services have been privatised. They've been privatised. Why do you think they're tapping hundreds of millions of people's phone calls and emails? It's not to listen to you talking to your mum or sexting your fucking, girlfriend, or telling your boss that you want to kick him in the ass and fuck you, I'm not coming back into work. They're not interested in that shit. They're interested in what's going on between heads of state, what's going on between people who are in positions of power, bankers, CEOs. That's the information they want. But if they were caught just tapping their phones, holy fuck, that would be a shitstorm, wouldn't it, So they've got to say, well, we're tapping everybody's phones. We're very sorry that we tapped your phone, Mrs. Mengel. Or we're very sorry, Mr. Jobs, that we tapped your phone. But, it was a catch-all situation. We decided just to capture everything. They weren't capturing everything. What they're doing is, they're saying they're capturing everything, but they're capturing certain people specifically. And that's why we're seeing the huge increase in the stock market, and yet we see absolutely no job production. Not a single government in Europe or America has produced the normal job activity. Every single country is down, and yet every single country in Europe and America, the stock market fucking, movements are well up. Everybody's going up into the green. Why do you think that is? Well, here's a little conspiracy theory for you. Yeah. We privatised our, secret services. People within the secret service are tapping the phones of people who have insider information, and then they're passing that insider information to the stock market, the big banks, both in America and Europe, and those people are making huge bets on what governments and companies are just about to decide, because these decisions are made maybe a week, 2 weeks before they're actually released to the public. They want to get their house in order before they actually tell people what they're doing. But the Secret Service, by tapping their phones, tapping their emails, tapping their communications, they know what's about to happen a week, 2 weeks ahead. They take that information, they pass it on to their stockbroker friends, their CEO friends in their banks. They let them know what's going to be going on. And people in the stock market say, yeah, we can sell this and make a profit by betting it down. We can sell that and make a profit by betting it up. And that's the whole game. We privatised our secret service, and they now work for the gigantic international conglomerates. They don't work for our country anymore. They're not working for our security. They're working for securities, but they're working for the bank securities, not the government or the country's security. And that's what's going on. And maybe some of that's going to come out later. We're just being piece-fed, piecemeal, the information that that prick in Russia has, and yeah, a scheme is beginning to resolve itself in my mind. Our security services are working for the people with the money and not for the people that pay them. The people that pay them are me and you, the taxpayer. We pay them via the government, via our taxes. They collect that information. They don't feed that information back to the government, back to us. They feed that information for money back to the people who will pay the most for it. The international conglomerate of corporations. That's what's happening. The big banks. Gigantic banking investors, they're the people that feed them the information they get on the telephone, the internet, emails, texts, all that good stuff that they intercept. And the reason they couldn't just target certain people is because if they get caught targeting certain people, just like, you know, what happened to Rupert Murdoch with his newspapers, it would eventually feed back to him, they'd be in shit, it would be a fucking firestorm of fucking news. So how do you dilute that firestorm? You tell them we're tapping everybody, and it's just the way things work. We're capturing so much information, we actually can't look through it all, and therefore we don't capture everything. And they're just befuddling us with you know, bullshit, you know. Oh my God, we've captured so much information, millions and billions of emails rather than hundreds and thousands, millions and billions of fucking telephone calls rather than just a few 100,000, you know. They're even saying they tapped 1 billion phone calls from Mengel. Is it Mengel? I can't remember, the German Chancellor, over the last fucking 10 years. I don't think she's made 1 billion phone calls in the last 10 years. Come on, if she'd made 1 billion phone calls, how many seconds would that be per phone call if she'd made 1 billion phone? That's just not possible. They've captured 1 billion phone calls from, you know, the Chancellor of Germany over the last 10 years. You know, it's impossible, you know. No, this is all bullshit. They're baffling us with bullshit because we're not in the right position to receive the truth, basically, you know. If you can't dazzle them with brilliance, you baffle them with bullshit, and that's what the NSA and the fucking CIA and the fucking MI5 and you know, these people are getting paid fucking peanuts for the shit they do, and their lives are on the line sometimes. Why wouldn't they capture this information and sell it on to someone who's going to pay them hundreds of thousands of fucking pounds for it, you know what I mean? Of course they're doing that. The whole Western world is corrupt and fucked. You think Rome crashed because of what, they ran out of bread? You think it crashed because of, you know, crazy people being kings and emperors think they were gods? No. It crashed because there was too many people with their fingers in the pie. And by too many people with their fingers in the pie, I mean too many people in the 2%. The people in the 2%, they wanted it to be 1%. And over the next 10-15 years, you will see that 1% controls 90% of the wealth in your country. And maybe then you start to get riots in the street, not because there's no bread, not because there's no electricity, not because you don't have a job. You'll do it because there's just no money to pay you for doing that job. You're expected to be a slave. When we get to that stage, we'll realise why Rome crashed. You also realise why the Empire of Britain crashed. And you'll also realise why the empire that America has built, not a physical empire of controlling countries and sending soldiers in and, extracting resources and bringing them back home. No, it's a financial empire, digital empire. America is trying to conquer an empire of ones and zeros. That's what they're trying to do. But that will crash because people will refuse to give them the information they need. They'll even refuse to produce information, to make the information they need. People will hide themselves. The only way to negate being controlled by high technology is not to use the technology. I've already started down that road. I use a computer, but I don't have a mobile phone. They can't track me through the GPS of my phone. They can't turn my phone on. And often what I do is I stick, because my camera on top of my computer is a camera and a microphone. Often what I do is I stick something over the top of it. A sock. A little balaclava. And so even if they turn it on, they might get sound, but they're not going to get audio, visual. You know what I mean? I'm not being a crazy conspiratorial wanker. I'm just saying, I don't have a mobile phone anymore. I'm not connected in that way. I'm connected to one another, but I'm not connected through when I leave the house. I don't have a phone on me. I don't have a mobile phone. I don't have electronic gizmos on me. You know what I mean? It's like, why the fuck do I need it? I've got everything I need in my house. When I leave the house, I don't need it, and I don't want people phoning me every 30 fucking seconds saying, "Oh, I want to do this, what are you doing now? What the fuck's I got to do with you, what I'm doing now? Fuck you, I'm out, I'm doing my shit." If you want to fight against this bullshit where everybody knows what you're doing, turn your phone off and leave the house when you go out, take the battery out of it, you know what I mean? Fuck that. You don't need to have that shit on you every second of the fucking day. You don't need to be controlled by that. You don't need to have someone knowing everywhere you are. They can turn it on even if it's switched off. They can hear what's going on around about you. They can find out where you are with the GPS. Why the fuck do you want that crap on your body? You might as well be chipped at birth and have a fucking sensor in your fucking neck, that fucking tells them where you went. What's instead of you fucking do, have something put in your eyes so they can see what you see, you know what I mean? Have a fucking GPS fucking implant so they can detect you, you know what I mean? And have a fucking explosive fucking ring on your neck so if they don't like what's happening they can blow your fucking head off, you know what I mean? Who the fuck wants that kind of fucking world? Time for us all to start waking up, motherfuckers. That's what you fucking are.